This is a powerful message, and it is a message given to me in the dream. I hope it is well communicated. Let's talk about Charity, a newly married woman to Mr. Tony. Charity came into their bedroom one day and met everywhere scattered. Before she went out that morning, she had the bed arranged. So coming back to see the bed scattered got her annoyed. Her husband, Mr. Tony, has gone out and happened to be the person that left the room last. God saved Mr. Tony not to be at home when Charity came back and met the bed scattered. He would have received a good amount of shouting and nagging, and she must force him to put the bed in order before he leaves. Charity started making the bed herself. Charity was a good woman who has never failed to do her work at home. She has never complained of being overlabored or asked for someone's help. But there is one thing she has refused to adjust. She refused to accommodate people or to manage people's mistakes, including her own husband. This has been Mr. Tony's headache. After putting the bed in order, something happened. Mr. Tony came back. If he had known that he would face his wife shouting and nagging that afternoon, he would have stayed back to wherever it was he was coming from. He landed on the same bed and started removing his shirt. This is a scenario that no man prays to encounter in his marriage. It is this kind of development that has put some men away from their home. This is a state that when a man finds himself, it will take the presence of God in him not to seek refuge in the arms of another woman outside his home. Mr. Tony removed his shirt and dropped it on the bed. After that, he picked up the pillow and fell back on the bed. He seemed so tired and worried. After some moment, he got up and moved into the bathroom to freshen up. As soon as Mr. Tony went into the bathroom, his wife Charity came in. Instantly, she saw her husband's clothes on the bed and the pillow scattered. She got upset. This is no peace for Mr. Tony. As he went to knock for him at the bathroom, immediately Mr. Tony came out. The wife threw the clothes at his face, shouting and nagging and ready to fight him. Mr. Tony was a gentle type of person who has refused to hit or beat his wife, no matter the situation. When the wife threw the clothes at him, the bitter venom in him arose, but he became the man and acted as the father of the house by swallowing the bitter pill. He went to hang the clothes well and returned to his wife staring at her. Without being told, we can read his mind. His wife was still talking, but he kept looking at her. He said in his mind, "My love for you has a big stomach that is capable of swallowing the hostility you display." Mr. Tony settled the case within himself and left her there. Later in the evening, Mr. Tony left the house to meet a friend in another building. He was busy with his laptop when he was called by his friend for a matter of urgency. He left his laptop at the center of the room and rushed out. His wife came out to sweep the room and saw his laptop and pillow on the floor. She did not complain this time but arranged the room and started sweeping it. She carefully swept the floor, and after that she went to do other things. Few hours later, Mr. Tony came back from his friend's house. He entered the bedroom and it seemed he has a place to rush back to. As soon as he entered the room, he kicked off his footwear in an unusual place and rushed to the bedroom to take his bag. And his wife has been having issue with anyone leaving shoe there. This is house on fire. Charity, his wife, came into the bedroom when she noticed that someone entered the room. She came in looking around and suddenly she saw her husband's footwear on the floor. Immediately she saw the footwear and the sand around the shoe, she became angry. She stood there for a while contemplating on what to do, and she took action immediately. Some women out there are lazy that the issue of house chores brings problems between them and their husbands. But the case is different between Charity and her husband, Mr. Tony. She bent and picked the footwear and threw them away outside the room. After throwing the shoes away, she returned back inside calling the husband by his name, Tony. He started opening everywhere looking for him. She got to the final door and opened it. Mr. Tony came out and was surprised as she was shouting and calling him dirty. She said that she has been trying to keep the house clean, but the more effort she put to maintain neatness in the house, the more the husband frustrated her effort by littering the whole environment. The husband felt sorry for all her complaints, but she refused to understand he was sorry. Today she was ready to fight a man who has decided not to hit her. Mr. Tony could not take it any longer and he shoved her aside. She fell down and Mr. Tony left her there and went to sit in the bed. This was the first time her husband was laying hands on her, and that really got her pissed off and she started cursing him. She told him that he should be thankful to God to have somebody like her as a wife, that he should take a very good look at her. She said that she has been managing him all this while. She said that she saw so many men that were qualified to stand as quality husbands with their wives, but she married him out of pity. Another day came, the couple were resting on a Saturday afternoon. Because of the previous incident, Charity has refused to talk to her husband or to give listening ears to his plea. She carried her laptop on her laps and started chatting with her friends while the husband was just lying down aside doing nothing. Before now, he had tried talking to her, but it was obvious she refused to respond. When he tried to cross her to pick his mobile phone, she refused and pushed him back. Now another offense committed by Mr. Tony. She dropped her laptop and faced her husband. She asked him if he was not told by his his mother that crossing over someone is bad. She told him that if his mother was not intelligent enough to educate him on that she will help her to educate him. Mr. Tony was surprised and wondered why crossing over his wife could bring up such insult on his mother and himself. Out of anger, he attempted to hit his wife, but he could not. Immediately, he raised his hands up, but suspended it because he could not lay his hands on his wife. His wife rushed closer to him, pushing her body on him and started requesting that he should beat her. Mr. Tony felt heavily insulted but could not express his anger to the fullest. He shoved her aside as usual and moved to collect his mobile phone. When you watch them, you will discover that anytime Mr. Tony gets angry to the point of pushing Charity aside, she will stay away from him and talk from distance. When a woman is looking for your trouble, you will know. You need nobody to tell you that. Look at Charity looking for her husband's trouble. She entered the bedroom where her husband was busy having business conversation on his phone. She entered the room and started scattering everywhere looking for what only her knew. Anything that stood in her way will receive a great push. She got to where her husband was seated on the floor, pushed him out of her way, searching everywhere around him and under his legs. Such display was really annoying, but Mr. Tony was only confused and speechless to witness such from his wife. It is such a pity that the devil is succeeding greatly in taking away the flavor of marriage from many homes. Charity, instead of her choosing to discuss issues out, she chose to nag away the love she has found. But before I conclude this story next Friday, let me hear from you. What do you think about this issue of nagging from Charity, and what do you advise Mr. Tony to do? Nagging has taken away the joy in so many families. Please share this video so that you will help us to set some families free. God bless you and see you next Friday.